My wife and I just bought a house, and this is the kitchen after tearing out some built-in shelving that bookended the sides and closed in the room. This house was built in the 50s, and the kitchen is from the 80s. It's well built, but it's well past its prime. There's so many things in this kitchen that make me laugh because it's like taking a trip back in time over 30 years ago. There's a flora and fauna tile mural over a retro-looking cooktop that's so old you can't even get parts for it anymore. I didn't salvage it because only one of the burners worked. Also, the venting for it spit out to the subfloor under the house, which I thought was strange. The shelves had some decorative, frilly liners. The glass on those doors was beveled, so that was cool, I guess. My wife wanted a big farmhouse apron sink, so this would have to go. The bay window was aged. It was in good condition, but the ratio of frame to glass just prevented it from letting in a decent amount of light. There's a few other features that show its age, such as the bread box and a built-in can opener. The stove and microwave are due for an upgrade, and I don't know who decided to put this vinyl wallpaper on the ceiling, but it's horrendous. Also, there's only one light. Another fun thing that I didn't notice right away is that there's a difference between some of the cabinet doors and drawers. Some have rounded corners and some have straight corners. It's just another one of those things that begs the question, what were they thinking? While buying the house, we were tossing around ideas as to how to fix up the kitchen. However, after much deliberation, we eventually decided to gut it to the studs and start from scratch. It would mean a lot of work for me and would be kind of expensive, but if I did most of the work myself, we could get a custom kitchen at the cost of materials and extra tools. This is the first video in a series to show you our complete kitchen remodel. Starting from scratch would be the way to go. That way I could redo all the electrical, run new water lines, a gas line, put in a new bay window, install new lights, and extend the kitchen a bit to make it bigger. Whew, that is quite a list, and it's only a taste of what I had to do to renovate this room. I've done a few relatively small fix-up jobs in the past, but I've never undertaken a home renovation this extensive. So for a majority of this, I'm going to be learning as I go. I have a solid understanding of how things are built, and that will help when I have to do something for the first time, like hanging a window or rerouting a drain vent pipe. Before redoing this kitchen, I had no idea what a drain vent was. I've since learned and am very knowledgeable about the subject, which I'll go over in another video when I'm talking about the drain vent. But it was nice to prove to myself that I'm very capable. I wasn't kidding when I said this kitchen was well built. It was a pain in the butt to take apart because of its sturdiness. Because this house is so old and there's so much history to it, I've been making a joke that every day I learn something new about it. Either I'll find something strange that the old owner had built or covered up, or I'll find some niche thing that I hadn't realized even existed. After tearing out some of the cabinets, I found an old vent from a previous version of the kitchen that hadn't been completely terminated. Some of the things I discovered are kind of cool, like a doorknob with a bell built into it. Other things just make me want to hit my head against a wall and yell out, what were they thinking? Like more recently, I discovered an enormous chunk of concrete in the backyard that was poured at the base of an apple tree to hold up a post. It took me the better part of a day to dig it out, break it up, and refill the hole with dirt. If you've ever taken down drywall before, you know that it's a dirty job. The walls in this house are actually made up of 2 layers. The top layer is a 1/2 inch of plaster, and behind that is a layer of 1/2 inch drywall. So taking these walls down was especially messy and dusty. You may or may not be able to tell, but the electrical situation for the house is just one big mess, and the bulk of the mess is in the kitchen. I'm actually glad that I'm getting a chance to clean slate the electrical in this room because of how disorganized it is. I hardly filmed any of the electrical work, partly because I was working in the dark in the attic, and mainly because I spent 2 to 3 weeks just dissecting the circuits to figure out which wires connected to which breakers. For example, the circuit that powered the attic lights ran from the attic into the kitchen as a 220 circuit, split off, and ran back up into the attic to power the lights. If that doesn't make sense, just trust me when I say it was a mess. I definitely learned a lot along the way. Like, be sure to check what is behind a wall when you hit it with a sledgehammer. Uh-oh, that didn't sound good. So, I guess that mirror's getting demoed now too.
Oops. Okay.
Well, the kitchen definitely looks different now, and if we weren't committed to redoing it before, we definitely are now. It's a little too late to put everything back together. In the next video, I'm going to replace the bay window. It'll be much bigger and allow much more light into the room. Here, I'm getting a head start on some of the work by removing the drain vent. I'll walk you through the process step by step in the next video. I hope you find it interesting to see the process of this kitchen remodel. It was a ton of work, but definitely worth it in the end. It's kind of crazy to know that this turned into this. Okay, that's it for now. See ya.